Hello there, and welcome to Eunice. Eunice is the only company in the entire world that specializes in just two things: finding your life purpose and your personal style. What do we mean by that? Your life is kind of like a boat, it has a destination to go to, and it also has a style on the way. What sort of music do you play? Is that hip hop? Is it rap? Is it rock and roll? What is the culture on the boat? Those are the questions that Eunice answers. We give you a life purpose and a personal style. Now, we have done a huge piece of work looking at the world religions, the 12 major religions, drawing hugely from a book called Jason Boyett, who wrote the book about the 12 religions. And our reason for doing that is twofold. One is context, so we want to understand our clients more if they come from different religions. And secondly, and really, really pointedly, we want to be clear about what the major religions say about how to find your purpose. And so today we are covering three major religions: Judaism, the Jewish faith. We are looking at Confucianism and also the Bahai faith, which is one of the fastest growing religions in the world, and we didn't know anything about it. So let's start off with Judaism, which has about 20 million people, was established in 1400 BC, and is a global diaspora, as I'm sure you know, with obviously the home for the Jews being in Israel. So in terms of what is it that the Jewish faith believes, well, the Jewish faith is fundamentally different from many others in that it's transferred by blood. There's a sense in which, certainly from the Torah, well, it's not even a sense of which, actually, it's really clear that the Jews are the chosen people on earth. And they are the ones who God most admires and ultimately likes. And at the same time, there is a huge amount of really sort of venerable humility in the religion. So, for example, Rabbi Hillel says, "That which is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow." That is the whole of the Torah, and the rest is explanation. And, you know, within that simple soundbite, that covers so many of the beliefs of the major religions, really, in that it's about kindness and calmness. In terms of the core beliefs that the Jewish faith have, they have eight, which are respect for God, righteous attributes, honesty, peace, humility, generosity, human dignity, and love for animals. So, does the Jewish faith say anything directly about how you find your life purpose? We can't find anything that the Jewish faith directly says about that. Like many religions, it's basically saying if you follow the way of Judaism and you're an adherent and you're a good person, you will live a good life. So, moving on to Confucianism, which was started in 551 BC by Confucius. There are about 7 million people, mainly in China, who are adherents to this religion. Is it a religion? That's a good question. It depends on your definition. Certainly, Confucianism doesn't focus on God or heaven or hell. In fact, doesn't really address those. It's more of a moral code. It's more of a way of being. Jason Boyett says Confucianism lacks priests, clergy, liturgy, and theology. It ignores the idea of the afterlife in order to focus on human behavior in the here and now. They're very much a humanistic religion. The core beliefs are around relationships and orderly relationships that promote harmony in the world. So, just to give you a couple, they're very clear about those relationships. So, for example, a ruler and a subject, and I'm reading from the screen here, an emperor should be kind and his subjects show loyalty. So, parent, child, husband, wife, all the younger siblings, even friends, have a clear order of relationships with each other. However, flowing through that is this idea of Ren. And Ren is about being compassionate in your relationships and seeking the core of being Ren is the core of every human being. So above and beyond that, there's also this very strong sense, unlike many other faiths, that actually man is inherently good. So we are not born with original sin. We are actually innately good. And in fact, what Confucianism does is it talks about the superior man. The superior man is somebody who, through study and devotion, basically lives a life of virtue, so that it's a very conscious choice. Is there anything in Confucianism that talks directly about purpose? Again, no, we can't find it. We wish there were. However, it is semi-direct in that it talks about the idea of Ren, which we've mentioned. And if you exercise Ren in your human relationships, then in fact you'll lead a Confucian life. The last religion is the Bahai faith, which we have never heard of at Yunus, not at all. It's the newest religion in the world. It's the newest religion in the world. There are 5 million adherents, primarily in India, Iran, and the United States. The whole faith is about world peace and unity. Their core belief says that if you're part of the faith, you should actively strive to oppose inequality, to deal with economic injustice. You should strive to get rid of racial equality, ethnic division, and promote peace. It's a very modern message, obviously, from the youngest religion. It very clearly says that all religions have their key message, that they are all part of, God's world. And they also believe that every religion has a kind of time and a place in that. That God sort of brings forward religions and sets of beliefs that are appropriate to the time, so that no religion is discounted. However, the faith believes that it is the latest reincarnation of that. The core practices are around personal meditation, responsibility, personal responsibility, and community. But it does that largely without priests or sacraments. There are 3 prayers you're obliged to say every day. One is called the short prayer, the medium prayer, and the long prayer, which is 1,500 words. Of all the religions in the entire world, it is the most clear about saying that work, your profession, is something that brings you closer to God. It is clear that saying that finding that profession is really important for your proximity to God. So it is actually the only religion that we have found that absolutely articulates the importance of work being a method and means to find yourself closer to God. So that brings us to the end of looking at a number of the 3 world religions. As we've said before, and forgive us if we've said this before to you, our view on purpose is both practical and spiritual. In that, if you have a pain, you can take paracetamol, and you can also pray for that pain to reduce. We are the paracetamol, and we also, for those who are spiritual or religious, we have exercises deliberately designed to help you look at your life purpose from a spiritual perspective. So that brings us to the close of this particular interrogation of those three faiths: Judaism, Confucianism, and the Bahai faith. We hope that it has helped you understand those faiths. Obviously, it's very much a sort of skin over the surface, but nonetheless, hopefully, gives you a bit of an understanding of those three faiths. We're going to stop now, let you get on with whatever it is you're doing. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next when we're looking at Shintoism and the last two religions, looking at them from the point of view of saying, how do they help you find purpose? So I'm just going to find the off button